in the first half by 1. He's just made sure that there's a bit of daylight between him and Kylian Mbappe, who's going to be coming along a little bit later on this evening for you to see if he can get a few more to try and catch up. And having missed the penalty, it was only fitting really that he secured that top spot with a really beautiful goal, Ashley.
Yeah, and you just, after the penalty, you didn't really have any doubt that he was going to get more chances. He wouldn't knock his confidence. He's missed penalties before. Here we see him, as I said, he's alive to things straight away. And this is the patience that I'm talking about. He could sprint into the box there, but he realises, actually, I've got a better chance if I hold my position and the cutback comes to me. But if you just keep an eye on him, he comes alive there, great touch, lays it off, and then now he just slowly makes his way into the box, seeing what's going to fall to the edge of the box. I made a great dummy.
Great timing.
On this one, Vanna should have followed him. Like, from the start, he's with him, just 3-4 meters behind him. You know, he's the main threat of this team. Just follow him, like, do the 5 meters.
It's coming off an offensive throw-in for Austria. So we were talking a bit before the game that Austria could damage Argentina in transition with a bit more space, and it happened all the way around. With a throw-in, Argentina got them a bit in unorganized, and of course the quality, they scored a really good goal.
Yeah, we saw them quite early on, didn't we, working their way through the press and finding a way. And obviously Messi finds a way, as he does. He had quite a few good chances actually in the first half, but that second goal coming late in the second half. Cesar, do you want to have a talk through this one for us?
I think here we see Austria getting the ball in the final third. Great block by Paredes.
Transition.
Avoiding the cross. And then Messi, you know, the ball lands to him, but he's in the right position, always looking forward. Julian here has a great chance. The keeper made a good save. And here, Paredes, as Ashley mentioned, he could be shooting on goal, but Messi is close to him. And here, the rebound shows the ambition and the hunger he has to score goals. He goes
like
strong.
A magnet.
Yeah,
always coming.
He's coming back from the right, then he goes back inside and gets in a position where he can score a goal. He could be standing out wide just after making the pass, but still he wants to get in the box and sniff the goal and get the second for him.
He's so aware of when he needs to run, when he needs to dribble, when he doesn't need to. This is, you know, conserving his energy. Yeah. Playing exactly the right amount for him within this game. You see it all over, as you say, walking at times, but then the runs come and they're very rarely wasted.
He gets alive. It's like we've seen few actions when defending, he's walking around the pitch, but even in the second goal, he's walking and he's in a position after the block from Paredes to come the ball straight to him.
Sorry, magnet man.
But that's why I think we spoke quite a few times about rest defense. When you are attacking, Austria were attacking, he was completely alone, and then they allowed him to turn, and we know how dangerous.
So you want to enjoy this one. You're on the graphic with Lionel Messi. This is most World Cup goals over the age of 35, and Olivier, you make it on there, just behind Roger Miller of Cameroon, of course. 4 and 5 for you two, now 12 for Messi, which is remarkable out of his 18. And actually, he's scored more World Cup goals after the age of 35, 12 in total, than Cristiano Ronaldo, Thierry Henry, Maradona, Rivaldo, Neymar, and Harry Kane in their whole careers. Never mind, you know, kind of over the age of 35. It is, you know, we talked about it ad nauseum at the beginning about how he's done this and how he's managed to actually kind of flourish almost more into the later years of his career in terms of his Argentina shirt and the World Cup stage. There is, obviously, this World Cup has got more over 40-year-olds and more late 30s players than ever before, but there is something to applaud there in the way he's managed himself.
Absolutely, yeah. When you get to that age, you've got to be doing the right things day in, day out. He must spend a lot of time on his body, in his physicality, to be able to. I know, yes, he does walk around a lot. We've seen that, but just to go out and to perform at that level, for his touch to still be that good, for his awareness to still be that good, it's a credit to his career and his testament. And by the way, this is the second game in the World Cup, so they've got Jordan next.
Well, also, you've talked in this World Cup coverage about how playing in America, you realised you needed to miss the intensity of European football, and he's playing his football, obviously, in the MLS, so he's not getting that level of kind of scrutiny and intensity that he could
I think all through his career, he didn't put too much intensity apart when he was maybe, at the beginning at Barcelona, 17, 18, 19 years old, when he was more like a winger, But it's been a few years now, he's just like recovering when they don't have the ball, and then, he's doing his magic when the ball comes to him. So I think, he's not suffering physically, as you said, he's managing well. I think his healthy lifestyle. He has to, because otherwise you cannot stay playing that long. But yeah, he's unbelievable.
He's to new situations. He moved from Barcelona to PSG, which was also very demanding. Then moved to Inter Miami, and even on the pitch, he's changing.
And not a lot of injuries also. Mm-hmm. He's been lucky and physiologically blessed that he could carry on, just play games after games.
Let's have a little look at the rest of his game, Cesar, today, because actually everything, as you said, went through him. He's playing much more centrally as well.
Yeah, I don't remember many actions from Argentina that he was not involved. Even the ones that we could see was far away from it. He was always alive, kind of similar to the second goal. He keeps looking at the ball and wants to get forward. Here is just off the bounce from Lautaro, and he's getting into a shooting position which can be very dangerous. You see now, look at striker here. Maybe he could run into the box, but he's waiting for the ball, and the quality is unbelievable.
But
amazing.
Austria should have seen. Ralf Rangnick, he should have seen that they played this ball through the lines, very centrally, and it happened so many times. So maybe no pressure was not good enough on the ball, or maybe the line was not tight enough.
Speaking about the pressure from Austria, we could see when they got it right, they recovered balls, and when they didn't, the space was quite open, and they
when
could
you
receive
find yourself in a mid block, they should have closed more these inside balls,
71 touches, Ashley, tonight for Messi.
Yeah, so that just goes to show that he wasn't out of the game. Right. So he's managing to find a balance between conserving energy, being in the right place at the right time, and then changing the tempo of the game when it's needed. You've seen in some of those clips we showed there. He's slow, and then he goes fast, and it's a quick 1-2, and it's very difficult to defend. I do agree with the lads that Austria could have done a better job in closing the gaps between the units, but it is very difficult to play against because he slows you down, he slows the tempo, and then it's on his terms when he decides to speed it up.
If there's one thing that didn't go right for him tonight, and that was the penalty. We're just going to have a look at the miss. There was a little bit going on there, wasn't there, in terms of maybe
he tried to intimidate him. But I think he did well, the keeper, because he stayed on his feet until the end. And when he looked at him, he tried to put it
He put him off, do you think?
Yeah, I think the keeper did well, but
it didn't make any difference in the end, did it?
He should have scored. He's Messi.
That's his hat-trick, isn't it? That's his hat-trick.
Bit more pressure.
Are we looking at the greatest player ever? If possible. I think that it's definitely worth the debate. We might have just witnessed the greatest player that football's ever seen.
Okay, well, it seems like a good time to bring in Tim Vickery, who, of course, is our South American football expert, live in Rio de Janeiro. Tim, the record books have kind of fallen tonight, haven't they? He's scored in 6 consecutive goals for Argentina, which is in a World Cup, which is a record. He's moved himself 2 above Miroslav Klose as well. The number of goals he scored over the age of 35. Give us a taste of kind of how this will be reflected around South America, particularly Argentina, tonight and tomorrow.
Well, there's another one that he's broken tonight. He's become the first player to miss a penalty in 3 World Cups. And I think there's a huge lesson there. You've got to be prepared to miss them if you're going to score them. And so many strikers will say that they didn't score all of the goals that they should have done, but it's taking the responsibility, and you keep doing it, and in the end, it clocks up and up and up. For me, the moment of the game, and this encapsulates everything that we were talking about before kickoff, is the dummy or Almada leaving the ball, getting the shout from Messi, leaving the ball, and Messi arrives and strikes that in. The gods of football obviously didn't want him to break the record with a penalty. They wanted him to break the record with a goal from open play. And Almada leaving it for him, hearing the shout, realising that Messi arriving is in a better position, just exemplifies another lesson of football. The team helps to make the stars. If Messi has scored all these goals after the age of 35 for Argentina, it's because at last they've managed to put him in a context that works. If you go back to 2010, for example, who's the top dog? There's a fight there going on between Tevez and Messi, and it's all very unclear. Over these last 2 World Cups, Messi has been right at the centre. I think it probably helped that he started a fight with Barcelona around the 2019 mark, and it was clear that Argentina had become his #1 priority. And Argentina have built that team around him. And I just don't want the carnival to end. This little man has been part of my life for 21 and a half years. It's the standout moment in what I ludicrously call my career, seeing him as a 17-year-old in the South American under-20s at the start of 2005. And it was all there. As Maradona said of him, this little fella, he can dribble while watching TV and he can change the channels. The ball is so much a part of him. But it's not just that. It was, even then, you could see the space. He knew which space he had to attack, the vulnerable space. He knew where to go. It was all there at 17. And to watch these 21 and a half years.
It's been a joy, hasn't it, Tim? It's been a joy tonight to just see that, to witness it. Thank you so much for sharing your reflections there. We're just going to move on.